This program is made possible in part by grants from the Boston 5-Cent Savings Bank and the Suffolk Franklin Savings Bank.
Hello, I'm Bob Vila. In the last few years, I've been rehabbing a number of houses in the Boston area. I call myself a designer builder. Redesign the interiors of these old places and rebuild them on the outside so that they look pretty much the way they did 100 years ago. The purpose of our series is to show you the many steps involved in taking an old house that's fallen on really hard times and saving it, turning it back into a home that a family can be proud of. In today's economy, more people than ever are buying houses that need substantial fixing up because they can still be bought for a reasonable amount of money. Lots of people who would like to undertake repairs, but they don't know how to go about it. Our series is going to show you the sequence involved in rehabbing, a combination of restoring and renovating. We're going to go through all the steps from demolition to decoration. You'll see both skilled and semi-skilled workers tackling all the jobs. Now, some of these jobs you might want to do yourself. Others, like the plumbing, are better left to the professionals, but you'll see how they do it and what it costs. Now, about our house. We're in Dorchester, Massachusetts. It's one of the oldest communities in the Boston area. This single-family residence was built somewhere around 1860. The style of the house was very fashionable in the early Victorian era. It's symmetrical, it's well-balanced, it has a mansard roof, which is a type of roof that's associated with a French architect of the 17th century. We'll be telling you more about the history of the property and the neighborhood in weeks to come. But now let me tell you what we paid for it. Or better yet, let me have you guess until later on in the program. Most people who have seen the property in its present condition are skeptical that we can do all the necessary repairs before our television series ends, 14 weeks from today. To them, we explain that we'll be using more workers than might be possible in an ordinary job of this kind. And finally, people are asking, what are we going to do with the house once we complete the work? Well, we're going to turn it over to the real estate brokers, and they'll find some happy family who's going to move in. Now let me introduce our first guest, Mr. John Hewitt. He's in the business of appraising real estate.
Bob, what's the condition of that roof up there?
Not too good. It's an old metal roof that's just been covered over with tar paper, a few pieces of gravel thrown on it. It's in pretty bad shape, John.
Probably have to rip it off. I don't like that metal with the tar over it.
What do you think of our porch roof up here?
Oh boy, this is all gone. All shot. Terrible.
I think we have to tear out a lot of stuff there.
Oh yes, you're going to have to rip off most of that boarding and most of the soffit.
I'm hoping
there.
we can save the columns and scrape them down, and maybe those little brackets and ornaments up there.
I think you should. Those are quite nice. They'll be pretty when they're all scraped down.
Needs a new floor.
It sure does. But it's got a good support on the corner there.
Granite, yeah. I think it's got granite underneath it.
Oh, this is...
My bulkhead, what do you say?
All shot. It's all shot. You know, now you can get those metal bulkheads. There's one with sides, but you don't need it because there's granite there.
Yeah, we've got stone.
Just get those steel doors. Just get those steel doors, and that'll come out perfect, and flash it along there.
The obvious thing that I want an opinion on is up here, John.
Oh, no. That's all shot. It's all shot, probably rotted out on the ends of the rafters there. You're going to have to rip it all out, but save those little brackets. Save those brackets.
That's our generator you hear in the background. I hope it's not bothering you too much.
No. These clapboards are good. These clapboards are fine, except you'll want to replace that skirt.
Yeah, the skirt's in bad shape. It's loose.
And although that window is relatively new, you'll probably want to change the design of it.
Well, it doesn't go with the rest of the house, does it?
Not really. No, I'd take that out.
There's the mudroom, the back mudroom.
Wow, what do you suppose that was? A back hall or something?
It's a back hall. They had a washing machine in there, too.
You know what I'd do, Bob? I'd rip that whole thing off. I think it's all shot. I think it's all shot.
You think it'd cost more to fix it than it went to tear it down?
Look, you'd have to replace the sill. It's all rotted out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd cost more to repair than it would serves no function anyway.
Just decide it.
Yeah, look at that stuff. All rotted away. Yeah, all shot.
Well, we'll probably just say goodbye to it.
Yeah, I'd tear that right off.
But you know, John, we've got a pretty good garage over here.
Oh,
Solid.
yeah.
A little bit ugly.
No, not really. That's a good two-car garage. And I just replaced those doors with those four-section overhead type
The rollers,
things. Yeah. Have you been on the roof there, Bob?
Yeah, the roof isn't bad. It's tar and gravel.
That's all right. That'd cost you some money to build, you know.
Sure.
It's a good garage.
What do you think about this?
Oh, hey. That sure doesn't fit in with any 19th century house.
No, I don't think so.
That's got to go, Bob.
Well, the wind might take it away if we're lucky.
Hopefully, if you got a good storm, you might.
But there's a good solid foundation down here that we might want to keep.
That deck, I think that's a nice feature there.
Yeah.
That deck can
We might be able to pave it over with brick or do something to make it look a little better.
You could make that look very good and useful, too.
Well, John, over here on the north side, we've got some serious problems.
I'll say you have.
Take a look up there.
Wow. You know what that is? That's constant penetration of water into that gutter there.
Yeah.
And it's running down, it's rotting it out, running down inside. The tip-off is the paint coming off of the claps. Then it comes down in here. It involves the bay window. And you've got a real problem in here. You're going to have to rip that out. The end of those roof rafters is probably all rotted off.
We're probably going to have a lot of repairs to do there.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
But you know, the clapboards themselves don't look so bad to me.
No, actually, right here, they look to be almost brand new.
They do, where the paint's falling off. Yeah,
not bad at all.
What do you think about the sill?
Well, I don't think that's too serious. I think that water's been running down inside for years. And that's probably rot. I don't think it's insect damage. You want to check it out inside.
From the inside, where we can look at it from the basement.
I don't think it's very extensive, Bob.
Good. So that all we're really talking about is closing it up and keeping the water out.
Yeah, and I'd rip off that novelty siding. That's that old shiplap stuff. Just rip off that top board there, and you can straighten it out and put it back after you replace the sill. But I don't think it's very extensive.
Yeah.
Not serious.
You know, John, one of the best things about this house, you can see on this side, the land.
Yeah,
it's only a quarter of an acre.
But you get the impression that it's a lot larger lot because it's so open and on the corner
And
here.
it's high up. We're a good 10 or 12 feet up above the ground.
Yeah.
And you've got lots to look at from up here. We've got a beautiful old church.
That's St. Peter's, isn't it?
St. Peter's. I think it's built in 1870, all pudding stone.
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
And new architecture across the street. It's about 2 years old. That's a senior citizens residence.
Oh yes, that's the senior citizens place.
And then that park is my favorite.
Isn't that nice?
It still has a working cast iron fountain. It's probably as old as this house.
Just beautiful in the summer, I'll bet you. Yes, sir.
And then about a half dozen triple deckers that have been rehabbed in the last few years. They're starting to look good.
At all.
They look pretty good.
Don't look bad at all.
And of course, if you can see through our overgrown lilacs over here.
Well, you can cut those all
Yeah,
back.
we can trim those, but over there we've got another good piece of architecture to look at.
Isn't that a beautiful picture there with the steeple rising and the weather vane?
It's the first meeting house in Boston.
Yeah, it sure is nice.
Well, come on, let me show you the last side.
Yeah. I hope this is not as bad as the other sides, Bob.
Well, John, the west side is maybe the best side. It's not. I don't think it's as bad a shape.
No, it isn't that bad, Bob, but you got that same gutter problem up there.
Yep, right at the joint.
You've got that leaking back in and probably rotting off some of those roof rafters, but the clapboards are in excellent condition.
Again, they're in good shape.
But look, that's an example of how not to paint a house. That's got a buildup of about a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
You're going to have to scrape every bit of that down. Going to have to scrape that right down to the wood.
And it won't be as easy as this right here.
No. Some of that'll be very tough to get off, but you can get it down to the wood, and then you'll prime it, and it'll really hold the paint. What do you suppose this was over here, Bob?
Well, I think about 30 years ago, a doctor owned the house.
Oh yeah, it's obvious it wasn't part of the original construction.
It's not original, but it was well built. And he had his office here, so he put in an entrance right here, and you can see they did some very nice stonework.
Yeah, he sure did.
Cement work, wrought iron, brick steps, and all that.
Yeah, very good.
Well, John, let's go inside and warm up, and I'll show you some of the inside rooms.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So, John, this was the entry to the doctor's office.
Oh, yes.
It's a lot better in here. I think what they did was they enclosed the end of the porch that was here so that they can enlarge this room. And you can see we've got a very clear indication of it along the floor line here.
That's a bad joint, and you can tell the difference. This is full thickness, good, heavy oak, but that's that veneer stuff that they put over softwood floors.
About 3/8 of an inch. Yeah.
It's not good at all.
What do you think of our walls?
The walls here look good. The walls look great, but that ceiling, it's all pulled away from the lath, and it's just going to have to come down. Anything you do with that other than the new ceiling will be second rate.
That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
Yeah, that's gone. The wall's good, though.
What about our radiator?
Oh, hey, when we see the heating plant, we'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know what the future of these radiators is, but I wouldn't think that was worth much. It's leaking, it's rotted.
And it's damaged the floor over here. We noticed that we've got a lot of floorboards lifting. Let me show you what I think is one of the better rooms in the house. We've got French doors leading to it.
Yeah, give you a lot of light.
And a nice Victorian marble mantel.
Oh, yes, that's very nice. That's very nice. That was one of those coal-burning grates. They burned that English cannel coal in them.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't get it now, but these
you think we'll be able to convert it so that we can burn wood?
I'd get a chimney sweep and make sure that the chimney is clear, but that ought to work just fine. And you can clean this up. There are chemicals you can clean it up with, and you could that can be effectively patched.
Yeah, we can put that back in place.
That's a nice feature.
Even though it's got a crack in it, it won't show.
No, I think you can fix that all
right. The floor is the same thing over here.
Again, this is that veneer, and I don't think there's any future in that floor at all.
There's a number of places where it's really springy and where it's really damaged, wherever we've got one of these old radiators.
Yeah, that old radiator again, that thing will probably have to go. It's an old steam job, and it's leaking, and you probably couldn't repair it effectively. This bay window is nice.
The bay is a terrific feature, yeah.
Gives you a good view out here.
Lets in a lot of light.
Very nice.
The ceiling, I think, is the same problem again.
You've got the same problem pulling away from that wood lath, and I think that ceiling's got to go. That ceiling's got to go.
Let me show you what happened over here at this end. At one point, they had a little apartment here, and what they did was they put a small kitchen in here and a half a bathroom. Right now, it's an absolute ruin.
This is sure a disaster area here.
This is the disaster area inside the house.
You're going to have to rip out to the subflooring here. And what's this?
Half a bathroom. There's a little shower there.
Well, that's got to go.
Yeah, I think there's really no alternative in this area except to rip everything out and start afresh.
Yeah, you're going to have a redesign here entirely.
It doesn't get any worse from here, though, John.
That window feature is nice, though, Bob. There are 3 windows there, and I think that would be very effective if you took this wall out. You've got that nice window there.
This used to be the main entrance to the house. This little reception hall, this was the front door right off the front porch. And I'm hoping we'll be able to clean this up and preserve some of the molding and picture molding at the top of it.
I think you'll be able to do that because the floor here seems to be very good. That's that full thickness oak, and these walls are very good, and that massive plaster molding there is very effective.
It's a nice cornice, isn't it?
And the woodwork all matches, and that ceiling isn't bad. You can just cut that out. A plasterer can cut that out, and it'll be
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on through the stair hall, and we'll show you the dining room. It is a little cut up. I'm a little worried about what we're going to do with it, but there's things in it that I think give us a lot of possibilities. This alcove here, where somebody banged in a little china cupboard.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. That's got to come out. That's strictly
a lot of plastic. Yeah,
a home handyman's dream, but you can pull.
Nothing we want to keep, though.
No.
Again, another radiator ruining our floor.
Yeah.
Plasterwork, what do you think of the plasterwork?
Not a bad room. No, the plaster's all right. Those doors do kind of cut it up.
Yeah.
You might want to think of some redesign. You might close up both and put a door in the middle or something.
Yeah, that's an idea.
That alcove is very pretty.
There used to be a wainscot in this room. It's been hidden over by cardboard. Feel the draft in there.
Not a problem.
Put your hand on there.
But boy, the heat loss there.
Yeah, terrific, isn't it?
Think about insulation, huh?
Yeah, we've got to do something. There's a nice detail here in the arched
like that
ceiling.
arch.
Yeah. Well, listen, let me show you the prize catch of the house. Your wife would love this. The kitchen.
Oh, is
Dream
this...
kitchen, 1931, I guess.
Is this a disaster?
Yeah.
With these
Nice,
little...
greasy little windows.
Oh, those little punky windows and those greasy cabinets.
Linoleum top cabinets that have all seen a better day. Excuse me.
And that crummy old cast iron sink and the old plumbing and the crummy little window.
I guess you agree with me that there's really nothing here to say.
No. You might scrape those and repaint them. Then what have you got? You've still got crummy old cabinets.
But the main thing we thought, though, is,
oh, yeah,
it's not going to fall down. It's sturdy.
It's really good. And it's good space.
Yeah.
It's good size, which is very important today. This could be a sort of a combination kitchen family room.
Yeah.
And you've got the...
Remember that mudroom we looked at from the outside?
Yeah. Hey, that door has had it, huh?
Yeah, it certainly has.
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on, John. Let me show you the upstairs while we still have some time.
It's not a bad room. No.
John, we have some very nice sunny bedrooms up here. And take a look at the window up behind the staircase here. I've never seen a detail like that.
Feature, isn't it?
It's a regular double-hung window, but just kind of placed behind the staircase.
Yeah, this is a nice keyhole. All of the rooms open off of this. This apparently is the master bedroom.
It's the largest bedroom, yeah.
That's a fur floor. When that's refinished, it'll come out beautifully.
Good. We've got a lot of this flooring up here.
Yeah.
Look at the light in here. All day long, you've got all sorts of sunlight coming through this exposure.
Beautiful corner bedroom, yeah. And two closets. And the plaster is not in bad shape.
One bad hole, and that's about it.
Yeah, that can be patched.
Then the other large room was the children's room in here.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And Eileen and Elizabeth had a dartboard, I think, but it seemed solid.
Artistic kids, apparently.
Yes.
Another nice corner. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. This is a nice feature here. This closet, this walk-through and
yeah, it's a connecting closet. And this has got to be the best view in the house.
Oh, yes.
It's a small room, but these large windows really make them special.
That view is spectacular. That's Dorchester Bay, right down there. Yeah.
You like the bedrooms?
Yes.
You're not going to like the bathroom. Come on this way. This is all we've got, and it's
oh, Bob.
Needs a little decorating.
Oh, this is a disaster here. No good. The old cast iron tub is all shot. The fixtures are all shot.
Yeah.
That old-fashioned tile, you might be able to save it, but I don't think it's worth it. And you got a big hole in the ceiling there.
Total rehab, right?
Yeah. Rip the whole thing out. Rip the whole thing out.
This little corner bedroom, again, is almost too small to be a bedroom.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It'd make a nice den.
It's got the light.
Yeah.
We had some problems here. Some pipes froze when we first got the place, and the plumbers had to chop a few holes in there.
If I were doing this, I'd put sort of an invisible panel there that you could remove. You've had problems with the plumbing once. I'd make it so that you could get at it without ripping out the wall.
An access panel. That is a good idea. I've got 4 more bedrooms, John.
Oh?
And more solid staircase.
For heaven's sake.
It keeps on going, yeah.
Yeah.
John, we've got 4 more rooms up here, and we haven't done much to them. Just stripped wallpaper and painted all the walls, because we'll be having a caretaker living here while we're doing the renovation.
Yeah.
Let me show you what we're calling the dining room for the moment. It's a small Eve room with that same nice view.
Oh, yes. See it better at this elevation.
Yeah. Then we have 2 larger rooms, one of which we're calling the living room for up here.
All in good shape, too.
The walls were not in bad shape. The floors are the same as downstairs, and we've got these terrific little dormer windows.
Right.
always looking over a church or something.
Very good.
Then the other large room in here, we also thought would be a bedroom.
Oh, yes.
This one has a
Another
closet,
nice
and
very good.
again, the windows were not in bad shape, and there were already storm windows on them.
Right.
And then the fourth and last is a small room that someone had converted into a kitchen bath facility.
Oh, yes.
Come right in here. And we've just put a stove in so that our caretaker can have something to cook on.
Very good.
John, you've seen most of the place now. What's your opinion? What do you think we paid for it?
I'm going to say 16, 17,000 bucks.
This man knows his business. 17,000.
Not bad.
As a matter of fact, while we go down to the cellar, let's show our viewers a tape we did a week ago with John Crosby, the real estate broker that sold us the house.
Good.
Okay? John, how would you describe this house in broker's terms if you were talking about it back at the office with other brokers?
Well, we'd consider it in location and structure. First of all, the location is ideal. It has a large yard. The property overlooks a couple parks, and it's fairly isolated from other houses. You get a lot of privacy around here.
How much money do you think we can put into fixing up this house without pricing ourselves so that we can't turn around and sell it again without losing money?
Well, it depends on how you fix it up. I'm sure you're going to do a good job. I think you'd probably get away with putting $30,000 into this on top of what you've already spent. And
then we'd have a house that we had $47,000 into. Do you think if I had to sell this house 3 years from now, I could sell it?
I'd be fairly confident in...
Without losing my shirt?
I don't think so.
Was it an easy house for you to sell?
When I found the right buyer, it was an easy house to sell.
How long did it take you?
Oh, it took quite a while, because the house needed a lot of work, and the average individual just couldn't move right in and fix something up like this. Mm-hmm. It needed more attention.
What's the market like in this neighborhood? Is there a lot of activity?
I was twisting arms about a year ago for people to buy houses here, and it seems as if now people are calling me to buy the houses here, and I don't have enough houses to go around.
Well, there's a lot to see down here, John. We've had to put a little temporary handrail up here, and watch your step. The tread is cracked.
Well, it's a good, sturdy stairway, and it is a nice, full excavation. When you put on those bulkhead covers, it'll eliminate whatever that water condition was.
Yeah, I think that's the only place in the basement that we have water.
And it's a good concrete floor, and it's a good, heavy stone foundation. And this framing is very good, Bob. It's 2x10s, full size, and they're mortised and tenoned into 5x10s here, and supported by those brick piers. Mm-hmm. No real problem with this framing, and the plumbing doesn't look that bad. There's a lot of new copper tubing and some brass. You may have to replace some of those things, but
some of the brass, perhaps.
Yeah, it won't give you any trouble, and those soil pipes are in great shape.
They're heavy-duty cast iron. Yeah.
That's very excellent cast iron. It'll last forever, actually.
Mm-hmm. Let me let you take a look underneath the kitchen floor. We've got a crawl space over here.
Oh, I was thinking it was entirely a full excavation, but this is a good area here. You can get all of your mechanicals in there, your wiring and piping if necessary, and it would be a good area to insulate in there.
Yeah.
You ought to insulate in there, and that's under the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all under the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, we thought it wouldn't be too hard to bring in new lines and services for new kitchen appliances.
It's a good place to work, actually. Yeah.
The next surprise box, John, is right behind you, our electrical service, right through here.
Oh.
Come on in and take a closer look.
That sure is a jury rig, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's got to be all of 30 amps.
Not much.
Turn on the air conditioner and you've blown the whole thing.
Yeah, and run down and change the fuses.
I'd put in at least 100 amps. You know, this is a big house, a lot of rooms in this house, Bob. I might even go for 200 amps.
You would. So we have to add on a few $100 there.
Yeah, that'll cost you a few bucks, but you know, electrical is awfully important.
Yep, safety comes first. That rumble you hear in the background is our antique heating plant. Come on over here and I'll show you that.
Hey, that's a beauty, Bob. That's as old as I am.
Oh.
That's an old one-pipe steam job, which is really no good anyway. Mm-hmm. That one-pipe steam system It originally was built for coal.
Probably, yeah.
And they might have converted it to gas sometime. When they converted it to oil was probably 10 cents a gallon.
We'll never see those days again.
But with oil at, 60 cents a gallon?
More or less.
You'd go broke.
Yeah.
You'd go broke running that. I would say get rid of that, and you can get a nice little efficient boiler and probably put in forced hot water heat, and that'd be slick. That'd be a great improvement.
And any way we look at it, we don't have much of a choice here.
No, I don't think you have any choice. I think that's got to go.
How about the hot water heater? Now, that's a lot newer looking.
Oh, yes, that's not very old. It's a 30-gallon, Bob, which isn't bad, but you know, this is a big house.
Yeah.
This is a big house, like 10 rooms. A big family in here would chew up that water, but I suppose they could send the kids out to the public bathing places or send them to the neighbors or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
I'd use that temporarily. When you get your new heating plant, you could probably have a tankless and use this in the summertime.
I see.
And it'll stand up. Most of these things are guaranteed for about 10 years.
So that we could save fuel in the summertime, but not running the big
you really
system,
could.
and just
You
run
really
off the
could.
small one.
Yeah. No, that's not bad. This is a good old house.
John, you've seen just about all there is to see around here. Now, give me your honest opinion. What do you think? Think we've done all right?
Bob, it stands you what, 3?
Oh,
And you're going to put in 60,
60.
and it'll stand you 63.
Yeah.
And look, you'll easily get 15.
Oh, John, no.
Bob, you'll
Be serious.
excuse me for kidding with you. You've got a good old house here.
You think so?
Got a good old house, a great foundation, good framing. Most of the plaster in the walls is very good. Most of the oak floors are good, except those veneer ones up there. And the one thing you've got going for you, you've got a great location. Really a good location.
I think so, too. Thanks very much, John. Well, John Hewitt has painted a pretty grim picture of this old house. But we know that with enough money and energy, we can do it. Notice I said we. Next week, the carpenters will begin exterior renovations while I start the demolition. That's something any homeowner can do. We'll also reveal plans for our dream kitchen next time on This Old House.